So, welcome back to the bar. Good to see you again. And for the bar chat today is looking within the series of best practice. We're going to be looking at the danger of making big blue sky leaps of faith into an area of best practice that isn't appropriate or relevant for the business. So let's just sort of have a quick look at the problem. Blue sky is essentially setting expectations or buying into reading a textbook or going on a course and seeing a solution for that isn't sort of that sits under the term or phrase of best practice that actually is probably incredibly complex to get to and may be completely out of sync with where your maturity and capability is within the organization. If it's not, that's great, go for it. But if it is, and often we see people striving for best practice when their organization isn't set and ready for it. And it's a little bit like giving a learner driver one day their very first ever lesson in a Reliant Robin or a Mini, and it's got 4 gears, not 5 gears. It's you turn it on, you press start, you go, and it's all very simple to work with. But then the next day, putting them in a Formula One car and saying, right, go for it at 200 miles an hour around Brands Hatch. The problem with that is that there is a very, very high likelihood that the Formula One car is going to crash. It's just not going to work. And that's partly because what you've done is you've created an expectation and a vision that is way beyond the capability and the maturity of the organization. And you've tried to make a sort of leap into blue sky, this fabulous sort of concept or idea of driving a fast Formula One car when the organization or the business is nowhere near ready for it. So it's a problem we see all the time. I have an example at the moment, or have had recently an example of a customer who is rolling out our portfolio management software, Perform. And when we were talking about requirements, it was all about what can it do, what can it do, what functionality, could it do this, could it do that, could it do the other. When you look at the actual capability and the maturity of that organization, they're not even close to being able to do some of the really sexy stuff that sits under the bonnet of our software. And so if they try and shoot straight for that and they leap off a cliff into that blue sky of we want to be able to do prioritization across the portfolio balancing, portfolio optimization, then they are almost certainly going to crash and there will be very little perceived value from the product. So much better is to pare it back, bring it back to something which is a step forwards but not a leap forwards, and put together an outline of what that means. In this case, that meant very simply, base one, give me visibility of my portfolio. And don't just give me visibility, give me a central repository with absolute visibility of my portfolio to all the executive team, so that whether they like or are interested in project or program methodology or not, they've got access to really simple, digestible, engaging information on the portfolio. Base one, tick in the box. If you get that right, then you've got momentum, and that's when you can start to move forwards. So my summary in this particular bar chat is, don't fall into the trap of setting blue sky expectations around best practice leaps. Make sure your leaps are little steps. Steps are much better than leaps. You're far less likely to crash. Good luck with it.